Sorry if I sound a little agitated today, boys. I got lidocaine on my nutsack. Um, the other day, or actually, I think it was actually just this morning. I was watching Asmongold react to the video game showcase here, and I'm gonna click over real quick just to make sure you can actually see his face and everything. Um, he uh he was reacting to the video game showcase, and Outer Worlds 2 was the first thing on the showcase, and he reacted to it, and he said something in his video that got me a little nettled, got me a little like feeling in my jimmies, like ooh, I was getting so mad. I was getting so mad that he said something bad about the thing I love. But the reason I was getting mad was because he wasn't entirely wrong. He's not 100% wrong on this one because Obsidian in general has a lot of work to do. They set themselves up at the beginning of this year for a long uphill climb, especially for anything they want to release this year. And like Outer Worlds 2 is no different. So I'm gonna start off by playing what Asmongold said and everything here, what he said that got me so riled up and everything, and then I'm gonna get into the point of what this whole video is. Essentially, me, a grown man, crying about another grown man saying something I didn't like on the internet. So let's get into it. So this is probably the only bit of editing you're ever going to see in one of my videos. This is like take 50 fucking 5. I was a retard and didn't capture Asmongold's what he actually said in the video. And since that's the entire point, let's listen.
DEIDs? I don't know. What is this, Outer Worlds 2?
An adventure made for capitalism by capitalism.
Yeah, I feel like this probably is going to be mediocre. I'm going to be honest. Like, especially if you're trying to put like some kind of like, current culture like critique thing. These are the same people that like wanted to put pronouns in like the character creator and avowed. This probably is going to be a weird game. Like, I'm just being honest, right? It's probably going to be a weird game.
Okay, so that's what he said that started off the whole video. If you want to see the absolute cinema, that was me trying to actually get audio on my video. Both live streams are going to be up on my channel. I suck. Back to the video. Not, yeah, I was going to say, let him finish. He's not wrong. Like, no, he's 100% not wrong. Outer Worlds is a weird game in general. It's got that weird Borderlands tongue-in-cheek millennial humor, which a lot of people don't like and think is cringe. I am somewhat in that boat, but I think they do it in a way that's like a little bit better. But the heart of this video is I want to get into one, Obsidian shot themselves in the foot with this trailer. A game for capitalism by capitalism is a little bit on the nose, especially in today's political climate and everything. Like, we literally have like so many people arguing and fucking bitching about capitalism nonstop. So already it seems a little politically charged and everything else like that, especially in today's certain climate, like political climate and everything. But what I want to get into this video is why I want to, or no, okay, let me actually get into it. Outer Worlds, the first one anyways, is not a game about capitalism, or it's not a game about how capitalism's bad. It's actually a game all about capitalism, and it's about how capitalism can be both good and bad, how it can put structure into people's lives and make them better people and create products and create safety and create comfort and all these other things, but how that comfort comes at a cost. And that's not untrue. Like, that's how society works. Every comfort you enjoy in this society comes at a cost. That's just how capitalism works at the end of the day. And that's what the game's actually overall about. It's also about, like I said, the horrors that capitalism can do, like corporations owning people, corporations making people wear things they don't want to wear, like all that other like millennial garbage, like people complaining about their 9-to-5 job shit is all in there, yes, but it's juxtaposed. What, I don't actually know how to pronounce the word. It's juxtaposed. Yeah, that's how you say it. Juxtaposed to what good the corporations do and what they are actually trying to do for the overall customer in the Halcyon in the Halcyon galaxy, and how the corporations are doing horrible things to people, but they both need those people, and those people need the corporation. So it's almost a symbiotic, parasitic relationship that they have in the Outer Worlds 1, anyways. And if this is lost in the Outer Worlds 2, then we just need to burn the whole fucking studio to the ground. We need to rehire a whole new development team, get a whole new writing staff in there. Like, if this does not stay nuanced and it is just straight capitalism bad, then I'll come back here and I will grab my pitchfork, I will grab my torch, we'll burn the whole motherfucker to the ground. Like, I'll be here in the front lines. I'll eat my words. No problem. But I want to get into a little bit more why the Outer Worlds 1 wasn't all capitalism bad. So I'm going to go over here and we're going to put up the title for the video real quick. If my computer will actually fucking work with me. Why Outer Worlds isn't all capitalism bad. And I'm sorry if that's spelled wrong. I can't fucking spell. So, put that up there at the fucking top, right? Why Outer Worlds isn't all capitalism bad. Oh, shit, it got rid. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. So, to start off, I am going to give a quick summary of what the actual story is about. Because on a surface level, Outer Worlds does seem like, oh, the corporations are ruling over people, they're doing bad things to people, they need to be stopped. And that's actually where the twist of the game comes in, is that the corporations actually aren't all bad. There's more nuance to it, and you see it all over the place. It's even in like the first two factions you meet. It's quest line. It's like literally in the heart of it to start off the tone of the entire narrative. So the actual narrative of Outer Worlds is humanity has sold off region. Well, first humanity has invented space travel, and humanity has sold off planets to corporations. And the Halcyon galaxy is bought up by, I think it's 3 different corporations. And they send 2 ships over there with a bunch of people that are in cryosleep to colonize these planets, build settlements, and start new lives there under the rule of the corporations and everything. So far, pretty dystopian, pretty all corpos bad, pretty like bleak. One of the ships gets released. They start their settlements and everything, and the other one is on its way. And I think they said it's like 20 light years behind or something like that. I'll have to actually go back through and go over the specifics of like all the numbers I'm going over like in the story. But so they it's 20 years behind for the second one. They start as colony, they start growing food, the corporations start making products, they start settling in and everything, and then the corporations realize something fast. They realize that the food they're growing and the animals that they're breeding and everything else, something in the atmosphere in the Halcyon galaxy is causing all of them to lose the nutrients that humans actually need to survive. So the food is there, but it's doing nothing for you. It's like how corn goes right through you. It's like right in your poop. You can see it. So like people are eating, their bellies are full, and they think they're actually getting fed, but they're actually getting sick from malnourishment because they're not actually getting any real nutrients into their body. And the corporations realize this, and when the second ship arrives, instead of letting thousands of more people out into the colonies to starve, they leave them frozen. And then after they leave them frozen, they start working on a solution to the food problem and trying to get nutrients back into the food. But it's harder than they realize. And they're trying, and their resources are dwindling harder and harder, especially when you got people revolting and people that are sick and everything and don't understand what's going on because the corporations are trying to cover it up because they don't want to look incompetent. The people are mad, they're trying to revolt, but they're stupid for not realizing that they're hurting the people that are actually trying to help them. And that's where I believe the actual core narrative is and where the nuance is, where yes, capitalism is bad and they're doing all these things, but they're actually doing all these things for the greater good of society and the greater good of mankind, well, the Halcyon region, not mankind in general, because I don't think they're having these issues in other parts of the galaxy. So there's two ships. They leave the one frozen, and that's where we find ourselves. They're in the middle of a nutrient epidemic and everything else. Enter Phineas Wells, which is supposed to be our good guy, our quotation marks good guy. Turns out he's actually a mad scientist whose experiments liquefy people from the inside, murdering them. And he's done this to up to 50 people. Like, actually, I think, like I said, I'm going to have to go back over the numbers, but I believe you're 50. You're number 51. And he was going to do it to you, too. That's the fucked up part. You were supposed to be liquefied. Well, honestly, you were the first success. All of the other ones were failures, but it doesn't change the fact that he still did it to them, and he still was going to do it to you. So now your good guy is a murdering psychopath who is trying to do this for the greater good of humanity, but instead of doing all of that, instead of actually helping the corporations and helping them with the food epidemic, because he's a genius. He literally figured out how to bring people back from cryosleep after an extended period of time where they're supposed to liquefy. He's been able to do things in the game that were supposed to be impossible. So he is an actual genius, but he's a murdering psychopath. He could have easily been using his resources for the corporations to help all of humanity, but instead he's liquefying people to try to bring them back to further his own goals for the colony, which he doesn't even know. Like, they get rid of the corporations and all the bad, and they destroy the project for the food that was like helping the food. Like, what the fuck? Like, how was this supposed to be helping? So it turns out, like, they are played up as, like, the good guys, but there's more nuance to it. And like I said, the bad guys who are the bad guys are also not entirely bad. Like I said, they want to provide shelter. They want to provide products. They want to provide jobs. They want people to consume. So they need these people to be healthy. They need these people to be happy. They need these people to be consuming. So it's in their best interest to help these people, but the people don't see it because of the lack of communication between the two. And that's, I really think the actual, like, I want to say, if you want to give like a thesis to the overall thing, like if you were going to go capitalism bad, the actual thesis is the lack of communication between corporations and people, because corporations are monolithic structures instead of an actual person, but they're treated like an individual person, if that makes sense. Because like even trying for me to verbalize the concept is really broad and really hard to think of, and a really good sci-fi topic, and a really good one that actually does apply to modern politics and everything else, to the point that he thought they were trying to, well, they might be trying to say something with Outer Worlds 2. I'm not going to sit here and say that Outer Worlds 2 isn't a political statement, because it might be. We all saw Avowed. I'm not going to sit here and try to like go, oh, this game's going to be great, guys. Like, trust me, fucking suck its dick. Don't worry. Don't listen to him. Like, no, I'm not here to say that. I genuinely believe he's got a point. We shouldn't trust them. They just fucked us. Like, so, but I don't want to just write the game off because it seems like it has woke themes to it, you know? Because here, I'll pull this up to prove my point a little better, actually. Outer is the first game. So, it looks like, actually, I could have sworn I watched a trailer back in the day. When I watched it, it was more playing on how the corporations are preying on people, but maybe that was just the story trailer and I just watched the official like launch trailer, and they were just, it looks like that one's focused more on choices, more on gameplay, more on all the things we actually want to see, and all the things that the other trailer, like I said, the other trailer is a travesty. I say they shot themselves right in the foot with that trailer. All the things the other trailer didn't really do. Like, it showed off gameplay and stuff like that, but like driving home that that woke narrative after you just dropped Avowed and the whole fucking crash out from the artist and everything, like, it's really not a good look if you're really trying to sell this game to people. Because now a game that could be genuinely good and genuinely say something about capitalism is tainted by the narrative that you're just trying to be a whiny bitch. So I'm going to do another part right here. Things that, if they aren't in the Outer Worlds 2, we will riot. I'm going to make a list of things that, if they aren't in the Outer Worlds 2, we as a community can band together and riot against Obsidian. So, oh shit, my computer's not working with me on this one. Hell, you guys are probably seeing something terrible on this one. So, first off, story. Is it actually going to type for me? Story. Okay. I actually haven't experienced this in one of my videos in a hot fucking minute. Nice. It won't type for me. Okay. It's odd. Well, I'm going to just continue anyways, even though it's not going to fucking work with me on this one. Yeah, it's not fucking typing for me at all. That's some bullshit. Anyways, if the story is all about capitalism bad, fucking people good, we need to scrap it. And all of Obsidian needs to go away. They need to fucking find new jobs, do something else. Because that's not what the first game was about. It's never been what it's about. It's always been about the nuance of capitalism and how it can both benefit and hinder society as a whole, especially when unchecked. 2, if the NPCs don't move, the NPCs don't interact with each other, the NPCs don't aggro on you if you attack someone of their faction, the NPCs don't react to you in other faction uniforms, if the NPCs don't react to choices that you make against their faction in general, F. Instant F. Game's garbage. It's got to go away. Out of here. Like, that is actually the core gameplay of this and why I've played these games so many times, because it's like Baldur's Gate 3 or New Vegas. There's so many different ways to play, so many different things you can do, so many outcomes you can actually find that the developers programmed in that you wouldn't have thought of on a first playthrough, but on a 50th playthrough you did, and holy shit, so did the developers. If that's not in the game, like, it's an F. Like, instantly they lost the entirety of what the game's all about and everything. Combat needs to be better. If the combat is as floaty as Outer Worlds originally is, if it's not at least up to a New Vegas level standards, even, because I would say the Outer Worlds is not a New Vegas level standards. It's actually worse. If it's not a New Vegas level standards, then it's an F. If the overall, like, graphics of the game, they've always had like a cell shaded style, so I feel like it's going to be timeless no matter what. Like, so I really don't think that department's going to be too terribly like necessarily bad or good or anything. Biggest reason, yeah, if any of those things are either not in the game or are like, yeah, if those 3 things are not in the game, then we riot, we burn down Obsidian, it's woke garbage, fuck it all. But try the game first. At least try the game first and give it a fucking playthrough. Laugh at it at its parts that it's supposed to be, or not even if it's supposed to be laughed at. If it's just supposed to fucking be something that's serious, but you find it funny, laugh at it. Yeah, just give the game a chance. It's not all, well, the Outer Worlds 1 is not all capitalism bad. If I could say anything, like, if you don't want to play Outer Worlds 2 because you think it's going to be woke garbage, that's perfectly fine. You are perfectly fine in having that opinion. I'm not going to argue with you about that because I don't know yet. You don't know yet. It's not out yet. But go play Outer Worlds 1 and actually give it a sit down, and don't play it one time. Actually, no. First playthrough, be as much of a shithead as you decide to be, because it will let you and it will respond in kind, and you will find out that the shitheads actually have more nuance and more character to them than just, oh, I'm a bad angry person. That's a bad angry person to be a bad angry person. Like, normally they're people that have problems that need to be solved, and they have to solve them in inhumane ways, unfortunately. Other than that, I really don't know what else I could actually say in this video. I guess I could kind of get into one thing I did want to get into, of like how many other different, like, yeah, I think I am going to get into that. Sorry, this video is all over the place. My videos normally are all over the place. I am recently making a video to see how many choices there are and how many endings there are in the first quest, and how far the game will actually let me go, and like things that it will let me do. And I was able to murder everyone in every settlement, and the game let me do that, and I was allowed to progress. I was allowed to fuck everyone over in every way possible and then murder everyone, and the game let me do that. I was able to side with the corporations and be as much of an asshole as humanly possible, and the game let me do that. It's a game where you choose what the story is. It could be a story all about capitalism bad if you decide to make it that. But at the end of the day, that's what these games are. It's a game where you decide what the story's actually about, and they just gave it a fucking capitalism bad branding. Unfortunately, like I said, Outer Worlds 2 could actually end up that way. And if it does, I'm going to be so upset. I'm genuinely going to be upset, because I was playing through Outer Worlds 1 here recently. In the first quest, you have to find a power core to get your ship off the ground. And to do that, you go to one of the local settlements, which is owned by one of the shitty corporations. And the dude there tells you that there's these people that is living in a botanical garden, and they're stealing power from a local power plant that should be going to the town. Not only that, but the people that are there are deserters from the town, and he needs them back. They should be back in their employee, like their spot. They're owned by Spacer's Choice. They're not allowed to be unemployed. So he sends you on your way to go do that. You go there, you meet them. She acts like she's all nice. They got this big, beautiful garden. They seem like genuinely nice people and everything else like that. And she tells you that they also at the town have a core, and you can get rid of it and you can take it, and they'll be without power and everything else. And Spacer's Choice won't have a colony there anymore. And you'll be sticking it to the corporations and everything. So you now have a choice to either divert power to the garden or divert power to the actual city and everything. And both choices have consequences. It's not like you choose over here at the botanical gardens and nothing bad happens to anyone. Like, the people over at the city are without power. It's not like they just all migrate over here. No, the people at the botanical gardens don't want them. There's not enough people to feed. Like, there's not enough food to go around. You can't come here. So town shut down. They got nowhere to go. The town or the gardens over here have power. You think you help the good guys and everything. Well, also turns out the gardens are growing so well because they're using bodies as fertilizer. So not as good as they first seemed. Kind of psychopaths. They literally want to dig up the entire graveyard at the corporation town and everything that has gotten there because there's a plague going through the corporation town and everything. They literally want to dig that up, grind them into meat, and then use them as fertilizer. Doesn't really seem like a good guy thing to me to do, especially to your deceased loved ones, because it's implied that they're all related to the people that are in the gravesite as well. So, not good. Over here, you divert power from the botanical gardens, you leave all those people without power and everything else. Now it's a lot of the people in the botanical gardens also don't know what she's doing. And that's the other thing. So it's this crazy bitch that's leading them and acting like a martyr and everything else. So they don't realize that their food's growing out of bodies and everything like that. So you now taken power away from people that are actually innocent, even though she's a monster. And then given power to the corporations that are greedy and literally act like they own people, but they give them safety, security, food, everything they actually need to survive and everything, and aren't trying to grind up their loved ones. So you can now see the yin yang, you can see the black white, you can see the nuance. Everything's gray. There's no good. There's no bad. Capitalism isn't bad. Capitalism isn't good. Capitalism is a societal structure to try to make people feel safe and give them the things they need. It's flawed, just like everything made by humans. And that's what the Outer Worlds is actually trying to highlight at the end of the day. And if Outer Worlds 2 doesn't try to at least touch a little bit on that fact, then we failed. And anyways, guys, I think that's all I really got today. Peace.